My name is Samson, this is my story. Here I am chained in a Philistine prison, blind and cornered by my enemies. It wasn't always like this. Let me tell you about the man. I was a man destined for great deeds, but also marked by tragedies. My life is a story of extraordinary strength, of fierce battles, above all of a destiny that I could never avoid. I come from a time when the Philistines dominated the land of my people, the Israelites oppressing us. For 40 years the Philistines, known as the people of the sea for their maritime skill, were feared for their technology of iron weapons superior to the bronze that we Israelites used. They were our enemies, mortals, worshippers of gods, pagans, and did everything to keep us under their control. My story begins before my birth in a small city in Israel, where my father Manoah and my mother, both from the tribe of Dan, lived. My mother was barren, and this brought sadness to our home. But one day an angel of the Lord appeared to her, bringing a message of hope. Although you were unable to have children, the angel said, soon you will conceive and give birth to a son. He will be consecrated to God like the Nazarite from the womb, and will start to save Israel from the hands of the Philistines. The angel gave specific instructions to my mother that she should not drink wine or any other alcoholic beverage, nor eat anything she was bringing into the world, someone set apart for a divine mission. I would be a Nazarite from birth, a man dedicated to God, whose hair should never be cut, a symbol of my strength and my alliance with the Lord. When I was born, my mother called me Samson, a name that means the little son, perhaps a reflection of the hope that I represented for my people. Since I was young, the Spirit of the Lord began to stir me, and everyone around me knew that I was different. I possessed a supernatural strength, a strength that would lead me to incredible feats, but that would also put me in situations from which I could not escape. The first time I realized the true power I had was in the fields of Sariah, near the vineyards of Timnah. I remember walking alone when a young lion came roaring toward me. I was not afraid. In an instant, the Spirit of the Lord came upon me, and with my own hands, I tore the lion in half as if it were a goat. That gave me the certainty that I was chosen and destined to face much greater challenges. This strength, however, it was also a burden. With it came responsibilities and temptations. When I returned to that place after some time, I found the lion's corpse. Inside it was a swarm of bees and honey. I ate the honey and gave some to my parents, but I didn't tell them where it came from. This was a sign of things to come, and sweetness arising from something as bitter as death. This is only part of my journey. I would be both the liberator and the ruin of my people. My deeds would be remembered for generations, but the price of my strength would be higher than I could ever imagine. My strength, they knew they could not face me as an equal, so they sought to exploit my weaknesses. A strategy subtle and treacherous. Delilah became the instrument of this ruse. With her irresistible beauty and sharp cunning, she began to probe my confidence, trying to discover the secret of my strength. Superhuman. It was as if I were blind, even with my eyes still intact. Every time Delilah questioned me, I would trick her by giving her a false answer, but she would not give up, and over time my resistance wore thin. Her persistence was relentless, and with each passing day the pressure on me increased. She tormented me with her questions night after night, until finally, in a moment of weakness, I gave in. I revealed to her the secret I had kept so deep inside me, and my strength lies in my hair. If it is cut, I will be as weak as any other man. That night, while I slept soundly, she had a man come and cut off the 7 braids of my hair. When I woke up, I felt Strange, as if something essential had been taken from me, and indeed it was the strength that had once defined me that had vanished, and for the first time in my life I was truly vulnerable. The Philistines, who had been waiting patiently, burst into the room and effortlessly captivated me. With my eyes filled with terror and surprise, they overpowered me, and the first thing they did was to tear out my eyes, leaving me blind and completely at their mercy. I was taken in chains to Gaza, where I was humiliated, forced to work like an animal turning a mill. Yet as I ground the grain, something inside me began to change. The physical pain of blindness was immense, but the emotional pain was even greater. I had been betrayed, deceived, and now left to waste away. But in the midst of the darkness that enveloped my eyes and my soul, something new began to grow. My hair, symbol of my consecration and strength, began to grow again, and with it a renewed determination. The Philistines thought they had defeated me completely, but the spirit of vengeance and justice was not quenched. They brought me to their temple, where they planned to display as the trophy of their victory over Israel. The temple was packed with Philistines, all rejoicing in their supposed victory. But while they laughed, I prayed silently, asking God one last time to grant me strength so that I could fulfill my destiny and bring ruin upon my enemies. Sovereign Lord, remember me, give me strength once more so that I can take revenge on the Philistines. For my eyes with a strength that no longer came from me but from divine power. I placed my hands on the central pillars of the temple, those that supported the entire structure. With a final cry of determination, I pressed with all my strength, and the entire temple began to shake. The pillars gave way, and with a loud bang deafening, the temple collapsed, crushing thousands of Philistines and myself. My life ended there. But the reign of the Philistines over Israel also ended. In my death I fulfilled the promise that God had made to my mother, that I would begin to free Israel from the hands of the Philistines. My story is a warning, a reminder that true power does not reside only in physical strength but in faithfulness to God. Even in our failures we can find redemption if we sincerely seek divine favor. May my sacrifice not be forgotten, because in the end God was glorified and my people Israel were freed.